The fourth installment of Yeezy season is here, and it's the most underwhelming to date. Yeah, I don't know what it is with this one, man. It really just doesn't get me in any way at all. Like, at least the past three have had a lot to them in the sense that there might be lyrical themes, there might be interesting production themes, whereas this one just feels like the most standard stripped down hip hop album to date, out of the four anyway, which isn't something I usually go to Kanye West's music for. Honestly, this could have probably been produced by someone else and sounded better. I think Kanye's production here is by far the weakest, the most unimpactful, and just left me feeling like I get nothing from this. Simple Things, the closing track to this 7 track album, once again, is the best example of that. I mean, the title of the song keeps it very relevant. I mean, it is so stripped back and laid back, like to the point where there's a nice little soul singing sample, but it really just feels quite general for hip hop. Like, I'm pretty sure Elzai and Crisis gave us way better on their latest album. Um, Jesus, man, this is just such a standard sounding song for a hip hop song, and perhaps that's what Nas wanted. Perhaps he just wanted to keep things pretty straightforward, keep things pretty sleek and pretty just to the point, you know. And Nas is usually pretty good at that. But lyrically, I just don't get much from this at all. That opening track, I feel like he's trying to throw in these like one-liners, and none of them hit the landing at all. I don't want to be sounding like I'm trashing on Nas, but like his flows on this album just feel so redundant. Like every time he like gets on beat, it just sounds so like stale, you know. Like I'm just kind of like waiting for him to get off beat to hear something different. Like, I don't know, I just feel like he's just not rapping very well here. Like he's sure still got some great lines every now and then, for sure. He still sounds good, but like it's more like he just sounds competent to me, more rather than sounding like a legend. I haven't talked about the latest Black Thought EP, but fuck, does that man throw in just everything into that EP, and it's like 6 tracks long, and every fucking line is not missed. Like everything he says on that EP is just worth noting. You have to digest and sort of like pull apart, and just everything like has a meaning to it. And like that man is well into his career, probably around the same age as Nas. And yeah, we get Nas here just kind of giving us one note songs. Everything is a pretty average song to me. I just think the intro goes on way too fucking long. Like, the Dream is singing here pretty alright. Even though it does kind of sound corny to my ears a little bit. Mostly with what's being said, it's pretty cliche, you know, like if I had everything, I could change anything. It's like, well, yeah, like, but you know, sometimes it's best to just keep things as they are in your life and sort of like learn from what exactly went wrong in the past. But it's just such a long song, like 7 minutes, man. 7 minutes of this, like, I'm just done by like 2 minutes, really. Cop Shot the Kid with Kanye has one of the worst samples I've heard all year. Honestly, that sample is terrible. I mean, Slick Rick is a legend, of course, but like just watching that sample, and I could imagine Kanye thinking like, yeah, I really did something with this, yeah, ooh. But it's just so fucking repetitive, man. Like, why that the whole song? Why the same thing all the way through? You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that Mi Gente song that came out last year, that like dancehall reggaeton type song, and it just had the same fucking ear grating beat the whole way through, and this is just the hip hop equivalent to that. Man, it's just awful. I mean, some pretty interesting lyrics do get thrown in this track. Lyrically, I must admit, it's a song worth hearing, and Kanye even comes through with some pretty good lyrics as well. But yeah, man, it just cannot be listened to ever, like ever. I'd say the best beat on the best sounding song is Bonjour, with the Bonjour and the beat like dun 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 dun. Like there's some really nice creative ideas thrown into this beat. I must say, Kanye obviously still has amazing production ideas. It's not like they've all just gone away. Like, he's still the same man who comes out with some amazing beats like he did on Daytona. So that shines on this track, I think. But yeah, I just have nothing to say. Like, I really thought a Nas album would provoke more thoughts out of me, honestly. But I guess it's one of those occurrences where it's like 7 tracks, it comes and goes, and so much of it is forgettable that you just end up not having anything to say. It was essentially my issue with Daytona, actually, even though my review for that was really long, actually, but I had a lot to say about the production at least, and I was essentially just circling around the same topics with the fact that, you know, Pusha T was just giving us dope peddling the entire way through, and it just kind of got redundant. And it's the same here, really. It's just like lyrically, I'm just not getting anything, so I haven't got much to say. I think it's partly due to the fact that Nas doesn't sound incredibly thrilling on this project, to be honest. Like, I'm pretty bored by his flows. I don't ever have the urgency to like, oh, what did he just say? Was that a cool line? Like, there's never ever that moment on this album where I have to do that. But yeah, the star-studded lineup here really made me think I'd have a lot more to say and get more out of it. But Jesus Christ, man, this has got to be one of the most underwhelming albums of the year, especially considering this is in the same Yeezy season that we've got some other albums that have had a lot of things about them that compelled me, even if I didn't like them, to be honest. But yeah, this is definitely the worst one. I mean, I was a little harsh on Kids See Ghosts, but I must admit that project isn't really that kind of album that I'll ever return to. But I'd say this is slightly worse than that. I'm gonna go a D with this one. I'd probably raise Kids See Ghosts like a D plus. Just in the idea that I'm giving this the same grade as Kids See Ghosts, even though I think I see it as worse. But hey, yeah, just nah, man. Also, the hype for this album has really dried out. Like, I saw a few people talk about it on the release day, but man, we're talking like 4 days later here, and I'm just like seeing nothing. I've seen nothing about this album, so perhaps this is going to be the one that people forget. I can see it, honestly, because there's just not enough content here for me to ever return to. But let me know your thoughts anyway. Subscribe to the channel if you like this review. Yeah, let me know what you think of this album, your favourite out of the Yeezy season so far. And yeah, have a good day. Bonjour. Au revoir.